a team that did not play a game on Labor Day, leading the baseball news cycle for all the wrong reasons. If you haven't heard by now because you were fattening up on delicious Labor Day foods when you were not working. Call this work, we were doing this, but anyway, if you didn't hear about it, we learned that the Los Angeles Dodgers are going to enter the rest of the season and the postseason very likely without the services of their starting pitcher, Julio Urias, as he was arrested on late Sunday night on a felony domestic violence charge in Los Angeles. It actually happened as I was doing my Maller monologue to begin the show, according to the police blotter. The arrest happened right around the time we kicked off the Labor Day show, Sunday night into Monday morning. Now, here's what we know. Urias was arrested near the downtown soccer dojo where Lionel Messi was entertaining the one percenters of Los Angeles. The Hollywood crowd, the top athletes all showed up to watch Inter Miami play in an MLS game against LAFC. And this was a who's who. This was an FU to the commoners. All the celebrities were out there in attendance. It made me want to puke. Well, TMZ tells us that Urias was one of the celebrities out there, and he and the alleged victim were in a crowd, a mass of humanity. We think this happened right after the game had ended, and there were witnesses that claimed that they saw Julio get physical with the woman who is believed to be his significant other. The witness then contacted the cops, who then put Urias in some jewelry, some nice jewelry right there. It's called handcuffs. And he was able to post $5,000 bail. He was released shortly before 5 a.m. on Monday morning, according to the L.A. County Sheriff's Department, the booking records there that TMZ has great access to. He's doing court on September 27th. It's a date the Dodgers have work scheduled that day. So there's a lot to unpack in this one. We'll start with the baseball part of it, and then we'll work our way to the other stuff. So let's discuss the question. We'll start with the odds. What are the odds that Julio Urias pitches again for the Dodgers? So I'm going to set the Maller Sportsbook odds on this at plus 900, which implies about a 10% chance. I think I'm going high on that. About a 10% chance. I've got the Swifties, Gorilla, and Plaxico. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make billable hours, which our man Julio Urias will have plenty of in the coming days, weeks, months, and who knows, possibly years. A lot of billable hours on this case. So, A, we begin with the fact that the Dodger pitcher, who has already visited the Devil's Playground. This is not his first trip down this road. This is what's known as a deja vu situation, not the Gentleman's Club. As you look at the somewhat recent blotter, and Urias was suspended for 20 games in 2019. He was arrested on suspicion of domestic battery. There was an incident that happened at a very well-known Los Angeles shopping center near the Beverly Center in L.A., but if you look at what happened, I went back and what I did, because I'm a loser and I have no life, I went back and I looked at what happened in 2019, and then I looked at what is alleged to have happened here in 2023, and it's the same pattern of events. According to my notes, and my notes are never wrong, witnesses back in 2019 said that Urias shoved his girlfriend to the ground in the parking lot, but there was no video of that incident. But it was the witnesses that alerted the authorities there, and there were no physical injuries, so the case was dropped. The lady involved in that covered for him. So there's a lot of unknowns as far as this one. Will whoever was involved in this, we assume it's his significant other, will they cover for him again? Is there video of the incident? are there actually physical injuries? And there was a charge of a felony, so you would assume there's some kind of actual evidence. You'd like to think that. Now, if Julio Urias is shoving women in public, if this actually happened, and we don't know for sure, we didn't see it, but if it did happen the way it's being described here, you wonder what else is going on there behind closed doors. Either way, in terms of the baseball stuff, he's cooked. This is a Swifties special. Right? We are never getting back together. That's going to be the Dodger message, a la Taylor Swift. They're going to play that tune. We are never getting back together. Over recent years, for better or worse, the Dodgers as a franchise have acted like the moral authority on all of these issues. The greatest example of this is Trevor Bauer. As he had sullied the Dodger uniform, he was exiled to Japan. The Dodgers are still paying Bauer $22.5 million as he pitches in Asia. Now, the difference here, Bauer was never charged with a crime. A lot of people don't understand that. He was never charged with a crime. Police investigated for many, many months. They had the case open, and they found that they could not prosecute a crime. The Dodgers still washed their hands with Bauer, even though they would desperately need him this season in their rotation. They still said, we can't have this guy. He's sullied the Dodger brand. Now, they stuck by Urias because he didn't have as big a contract. I guess they figured things would work out with him, and you learn from your mistakes. Well, if this is true, the latest report, well, he probably didn't learn from his mistakes, but as of now, he's facing a felony. The good news for Urias is he's in Los Angeles, where you can literally steal like $9,000 worth of stuff, and they'll just they'll let you do whatever you want. And you can commit all kinds of crime. And they have like a turnstile in L.A. that you go in, you get your fingerprint, take your mugshot, go out and pick up your stolen goods, and go rob some other store, go burglarize some other store. But in terms of him, I mean, as far as the Dodgers are concerned, legally, I don't think he's in too much trouble because you can make some kind of deal and you can work things out. But he's also going to be a free agent after the season, so you can cue the old Looney Tunes Porky Pig. That's all, folks. That's it. Now, page 2 here. So as far as the postseason for the Dodgers, assuming that I'm right and Urias is not going to pitch in the playoff rotation, so what does that do for the Dodgers playoff rotation? They're going to need to bring in the gorilla, as in Gorilla Glue. They are literally and figuratively going to have to glue together, or maybe they can use some duct tape, the starting rotation, because another leak has sprung here for the Dodgers. You take Julio down by the schoolyard, out of the mix there. Urias is out, and he was expected to be one of the key figures in that rotation. Now he's been vaporized by apparently his own doing. And the Dodger postseason rotation, unless I'm wrong on this, and I'm very rarely wrong, will have Bobby Miller, who pitched well against the Braves on Sunday. He'd be my top option. Clayton Kershaw at number 2. Lance Lynn serving up meatballs at number 3. And then after that, bullpen game. Bullpen slop. It's Dave Roberts and the Nerds throwing together Hungarian goulash. That's a reality. It is. You've got flank steak, onions, carrots, paprika, potatoes, all the rest, which is less than ideal. But you adapt or you die. That's the reality. All right, last word here. So how does this impact? How does this impact the future financially for the pitcher? I'm talking about legally, he's likely not going to be in that much trouble because you're rich. You've got an attorney. It's a good attorney. He's in L.A., and they don't really care about criminals in L.A. anymore. Ever since 2020, they stopped caring about crime in Los Angeles. It's like Sodom and Gomorrah in many places. So obviously his stock is plummeting. This is a nosedive situation. And it is a Plaxico Burress special. He shot himself in the foot. Urias was going to enter the marketplace as a 27-year-old free agent pitcher with loads of big game experience. And now he's got double cooties is what he's got. And you can thin the herd. Certain teams who like to say, hey, we know better than everyone. I mean, they're not going to even bid on him. You assume the Dodgers are out unless they change their position. The Red Sox, I have them on that list, so they're out. But teams like the Yankees and the Mets and the Padres, they'll bid on him. They don't care that he's got this domestic violence thing. But even if these charges vanish or are downgraded, he's going to face a rather large suspension. He got 20 games back in 2019. So now, in the eyes of baseball, even if these charges go away, baseball has proven they will still punish people even when they have not been charged with a crime. Bauer was not charged with a crime. There have been other incidents that were flimsy, but baseball still ended up punishing. We don't know if there's video or not. If there is video, it will likely pop up on TMZ in the next couple of days for a nice, hefty check. But if you look at some of the comps for Urias, you're looking at, half of next season where he would be suspended? And by my calculation, he's cost himself in the neighborhood of $60+ million in extra money. Right? Extra money that would have been on the back end of that contract. But we'll see what happens next in this particular story.